Hello, everybody. Welcome back to DND404. I am your DM, Tony. And joining with me today are the other three resolutions in my new year. Starting off with I swear, I'm going to do it this year. I'm going to join the gym and keep going. Jared!
What's going on, guys? Armos checking in. I think my New Year's D&D kind of player resolution would be to play a different type of character. One that's not so hot-headed, which would be great. So I think that's where I'm going. Dan?
I mean, we're still in campaign 1, but...
Hey, I think it's a good resolution because before 2026, we could be in the new campaign. Who knows?
You're right.
Just saying. That's a pretty realistic resolution right there. Hi, everybody. My name is Dan. I play Minnis PebbleWalker, your tiny little Swarmkeeper Ranger. And my New Year's resolution this year is to cast Bless more. You know, I want to uplift my party this year. And to do that, I think I need to cast Bless a little more, specifically for Drell. How do you feel about that, Alec?
Yeah, my name is Alec. I play Drell of the Ashborn, and my New Year's resolution is to learn how to go invisible so I could do it just like Armos and Drell.
Armos and Drell?
Almost a drill.
Armos and Minnis, just like Armos and Minnis. Yep, because I am Drell.
I should have put my New Year's resolution was to talk better because I flub a lot of my lines.
Yeah, clearer words.
Words.
What about you, Tony?
Yeah, I'm going to keep the same ball rolling as I did last year. I'm going to cuss less as a DM.
Are you actually going to stick with it this year?
Listen, I think I did a pretty good job not cussing as much, unless you piss me off, Dan. I think I've been doing a pretty good job.
You're already off to a bad start.
What do you mean bad start? I didn't curse.
You just did.
Which word? What did I say?
You said PISS.
That's not a cuss word.
That is absolutely a cuss word.
That's not a cuss word.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Just because you use it a lot as a kid doesn't mean it's not a cuss word.
What do you guys think? You think that word's a cuss word?
I think you're from New York, so you don't think it's a cuss word.
Yeah.
I think it's different, but I do agree with Dan. I think it's, well, I wouldn't say it's a cuss word. I would say I wouldn't use it in church. I'll put it that way.
You wouldn't say it in front of the queen?
If you wouldn't say it in front of the queen, it's a curse word.
Yeah.
Fine. Fair. Fair.
That's funny.
Somebody put the counter on how many times Tony swore last year in the podcast after saying he was going to curse less.
All right, starting now.
I asked
no more cuss
ChatGPT,
words.
and it said that a mild curse word is crap, piss,
Same.
bloody, and
Can't say crap.
bugger.
Bugger is a curse word?
You bugger.
I don't know.
I wouldn't say crap is a curse word.
Well, it is
depending on
now.
the context.
Mild
I'm
curses.
counting it because ChatGPT said so.
I'm not going to use, all right, addendum. I'm not going to use serious curse words for the whole year. Saying there's a bunch of crap in a corner, that's one thing. Saying there's a bunch of fucking...
Whoever curses the least starting now gets merch paid for by the other guys in the podcast.
I'm in.
It's just gonna be us not talking.
Yeah.
All right, now you know the deal. We'll do the recap, but before we roll for the recap, we're going to do the rundown. And today's rundown is brought to you by... Who's it brought to you by? Alec.
Yes. Okay. It is brought to you by me, and today I'm running down the Discord. The Discord, a community where you can join and hang out and talk with us and other fellow D&D minded people like you. We have multiple groups. We have Patreon channels if you're part of Patreon. We have sports channels for fantasy football if you like that type of stuff. We have spoiler channels where you can talk about the most epic episodes as they're released. We also have community events going on, like we just had the Rate My D&D setup where you would submit that through the Discord. So if you want, we're growing, we're booming. We got new people joining every single day, and everyone that's in there is absolutely amazing. So if you want to be part of it, go ahead and join. The link's right below. Go click it.
Do it.
Join us.
Click
Do
it.
it.
Just do it.
Get this.
As the great philosopher once said, just do it.
And for all those people who are commenting, but what if I don't have Discord? I have a solution for you. You get Discord.
That's a good solution. I like it.
Discord.gg. Make an account, boy.
Yeah, that can be your New Year's resolution.
Oh, I like it.
Oh.
Good one.
Call to
That's
action
good.
for your New Year's resolution.
It's not scary, I promise.
Perfect. That was beautiful, Alec. Thank you. Now you know the deal. We're going to go ahead and roll for the recap where I roll a giant rubber foam D4 half eaten by my bunnies. Rhyme number 1, 2 is Alec, 3 is Dan, and 4 is Jared. So, fellas, how am I scoring it in the hoop today?
Backflip, dunk it.
I can't
Easy.
backflip. Cannot do a backflip. As agile and athletic as I am.
All right, here's what you do. You're gonna lay on the ground with your feet against the door, and you shoot it up and try to make it.
This gonna be the one he gets first try somehow.
First try.
Not quite.
Those who are not watching,
Second try.
you did not get it.
Second try, third try.
He was a little short on that one. Didn't even get up to the rim.
Maybe this is a mistake, making him do shots. This was his idea too, to get a hoop to do this.
It's like, I was gonna be dunking it.
6th try.
Oh!
All right, that's awesome.
You gotta push it down now, so it falls.
Or do we take whatever's on top?
I don't think you're gonna want to take whatever's on top.
Okay, yeah. All right.
I think you
All right,
gotta
dunk
push it
the
down.
rest of it. Dunk the rest of
now
it.
dunk the rest of it. Ooh, that was good.
You see it?
Is that me or is that Alec?
It looks like a 2.
It's a 2.
2. Deuces.
Nice. So, last episode on DND404, the group finds themselves making their way through the caves on their way to the Red City along with Morgan. After failing several checks, Morgan no longer wanted to follow us, so we kind of started leading our own way, and we stumbled across a spider dragon? ? Not one, wait, 2 spider dragons. It was kind of like a 2v1 on both sides. Drell and Minnis, aka Trimus, went ahead and took down one spider dragon, while Armos was trying to take care of the other one with his invisible wall. And let's see what else. We eventually made our way through after outrunning the last spider dragon, and instead of taking the easy exit out into the Red City, Armos did Armos things, which was causing us more time, effort, and worries, where we found ourselves in a flesh wall room, something with a lot of eyeballs. I don't know, it was gross. I didn't like it at all. Drell didn't like it either. And Armos decided to strike a deal where we had to return a skull to somebody's grave. So we find ourselves with a little side quest, headed to the Red City with Morgan. Sounds good. Drell, Armos, Minnis, DM, Bard, play that intro.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to the world of Humbrea, featuring 3 first-time adventurers and 1 very patient DM. This is D&D 404. Okay, fellas, boys, welcome to session 125. We pick up in a dark, wide open, cavernous lake room on a plateau with 2 pathways. One pathway is the one you are on that goes to this oddly placed Gothic style manor. The other pathway is heading southward away from the manor, and the manor itself is in the center, acting as a crossway point between the 2 paths. Around you is this deep body of water. The manor also has an attached dock where there is an old, decrepit, beaten up boat that seems rotten. There are no sails on the boat, and it seems that there are cobwebs and foliage overgrown onto it. Despite its massive damage, it still somehow remains afloat in this deep blue water. Upon immediate observation for this oddly placed manor, there are green lanterns lit on the outside of the manor. There are 2 at the top of the staircase leading up to it, 2 on the outside of the front door, and then there are 4 additional lanterns leading southward on the southward path, which, according to Morgan's instructions, leads to the sewer system to Red City. A few sessions ago, she had mentioned this manor and how it was out of place. It was rumored on why it was here. However, the previous deal that Arnold struck up may provide some truth to some of those legends. It was told that back when the city of Stratham, before it had fell, there was a rumored vampire that lived underneath the city, that would take victims down through the sewers and, lure them to their deaths to be used by the vampire. Those rumors date back way before any of the current events that are happening today. The manor in front of you, acting as the focal point for this cavern, is oddly clean and pristine despite the wrecked ship on the outside. The water is very blue and looks very clean and healthy, which is a little odd depending on the environment you just came from. When you look up to the ceiling of the cave, which is about 200-300 feet up, it's very spacious in here, you can see the shadows from where the light of the lamps do not reach seem to be moving slowly. And as you try to focus your eyes, almost with your dark vision, you get the sense that there are more of these spider dragons looming in the shadows of the room, acting maybe as like a guardian or a protector of this area. So you pick up with the four of you, the three of you plus Morgan, on this pathway leading to the manor. What are the three of you doing?
Oh, I don't like the looks of this. This place looks evil.
Yeah, I'm getting big, I don't know, I mean, it looks like a nice free house. I mean, what if we don't put the skull back and, I don't know, live here and, not worry about what's going on above? That could be pretty good, you know what I'm just saying? It's an alternative.
I don't think it's a very good alternative.
Yeah, I'm definitely not living here.
Okay, I mean, it's a pretty nice house.
Debatable.
Reginald, eventually they're going to make their way down here, Krista's army, It's not like we'll be safe here forever.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, go take care of the big
I'm
problem.
down here. Technically, I'm a part of that. So, you're right.
Yeah. All right, everybody gather around before we go in there. So to make sure everybody feels nice and holy, and I cast Bless at 2nd level on everybody.
Wow.
Look
Look at you. Look at
Already.
you.
Leading the way for his New Year's resolution. Way to go, Dan.
Wow. 100% of the sessions in 2025 has had Bless in it. Wow.
Wow.
Look at that.
And before combat, not during it. This is
Yeah.
great.
Look at that. As I concentrate, as Sid concentrates in one of my pockets. Y'all are blessed.
Morgan chimes in. She goes, "Thank you for that, Minnis," and gives you like a little fist bump.
Oh, yeah.
She goes, "Well, this is, I assume, Lord Brix's manor. Now, we don't hang around here when we pass through because it's pretty creepy. I will say, if I ever needed to take a rest, I would rest on the ship. It's pretty secluded. It's very dirty, dusty, and, a little damp. However, if you ever look through one of the windows of the manor, you may get the sense of why we choose not to stay in there. It's all around creepy and not good vibes,
Yeah, in and out.
is how I would describe it. Yes.
In and out. All right, Armos, you got the skull. Lead the way.
As I'm leading the way, I see Minnis's lead about the bless, and I give an inspirational speech for 10 minutes as we walk towards the manor and gaze on the.
This skull
on-
is going to bring us so many riches.
So you guys get 21.
Reginald
Nice.
picks up the skull.
To be or not to be the ones who place the skull in the coffin? That is the question.
You got to say that in iambic pentameter. That was in prose.
What?
Drell looks at Reginald and he's like, theater kid. And he just thumbs towards Minnis.
Yeah, there's a special place in the 9 hells for those people.
Oh, yeah, Minnis is a theater kid for sure.
Yeah, we would say that we would just put them on a stage and let them perform for nobody, but that's usually the status quo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like bop, 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 bop. You want that kind of cadence.
Who's
Bop,
Cadence?
bop, bop, bop. You are, no, not a person. And my arguing is actually what inspires me.
Morgan's like, who are you talking to, Minnis?
A demon bunny? No one?
Well, it's not demon anymore. That's pretty fucked up.
That's right. He's an angelic celestial
No,
bunny
don't
now.
you ever call me that again. Don't you ever call me that again.
I'm messing with you, Reginald.
He pulls you he pulls you by the horn.
Yeah, she sees me get pulled down, and I'm fighting nothing.
Celestials, don't ever consider me one of them again.
You're a big, powerful bunny, okay? You're just
Thank
a powerful
you.
bunny.
Demon.
And we make our way to the front door.
As we're walking there, I talk to Morgan. I'm like, he's got an imaginary friend. It's kind of weird. I don't know. It's just kind of play along with it.
Oh, theater kid? Yeah, no, I get it. continues. So the four of you walk down this path, and you pass the dock, and you look at the boat, and it seems, once again, very out of balance. You see it like jostle in the water. There is a slight wave in the water that makes the boat move. Just by looking at it, you're not sure how it's staying afloat, but it is. Despite its construction, it is managing to stay afloat. And then you climb this long, steep stone staircase that leads you to the front of this manor. And on either side of this manor, there are two large statues about the size of the manor itself. They are identical. They look like whoever would own this place, it looks like they have statues of themselves made as decorations on the outside of its front door. They are in regal robes. They look adorned in various jewels. They look like they're ready to host a very noble, fancy dinner party. And they have this very pristine, not crown, but very fancy like hat that tries to come off friendly and noblistic, but instantly gives you the creeps upon looking at it.
All right, Armos.
What?
Is your thing, so...
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, go get him, pal.
So, can I do some detect?
Yeah, you can use any skills or abilities here as you approach the front door to the manor. And there are these two large steel and wood glass-stained doors. So it looks like you can see through, but it's very all these different colors, and they make up a pattern. But in between the glass stains are solid steel with decorative wood furnishing the door frame.
If we look at like the windows and stuff, everything is still like super pristine. Nothing looks...
Yes, nothing is cracked, broken. It looks like the glass is picture clear. You can see inside the manor if you'd like.
Okay. What if I do a little peek?
You peek inside and you see this large, luxurious, grand entranceway. In a very traditional style, you see a long rug that goes from the front door all the way to the staircase at the other end of the room that spiral symmetrically on both wings of the house. And in the center, you see this large glass window that peers out into the lake behind the house, and you see this large picture just above that window where it's a picture of Lord Brixus, dressed similarly as the statues outside. Among the furniture, cabinets, and shelves in the grand entranceway, you also see pure white, looks like porcelain statues of beings, and they are all standing in different poses. Their arms jut out. They all look like they're reaching in some way, but there's no rhyme or reason or pattern to the reaching. And all the statues look of different builds. You have muscular build statues, you have thin framed statues, you have shorter statues that more resemble halflings and gnomes, and then you have tall, elegant statues that resemble more of an elven figure, an elven physique, if you will. And they are scattered throughout the great hallway. And you even see some of them in front of various doors as if they're trying to block the entrance to those rooms. And the ones that are in front of the doors, those are the only ones that share the same stance. And they all have their arms crossed over their chests with their heads down. But the ones that are scattered throughout the great hallway that you're looking into seem to be in various different poses. Porcelain white statues. And in the center of the room is a coffin that is closed. Very beautiful, very elegant, and that is on a raised pedestal. So once again, you look through, it's a rug. The rug kind of curves around this coffin that you need to go to, that then leads to the staircase that arches out to both wings of the house.
Armos is feeling like there's more going on here than, you know what I mean? And just to be precautious, because it seems like something is with the house as opposed to the skull in his hand. Or maybe a combination of both. First, I'm going to open the door, but I'm not going to go in. Is the door opened, locked, anything?
The door creaks open smoothly.
And I can see the casket in the center of the room at that point, correct?
Yes. When you open the door and step inside just briefly to like get a better understanding of your surroundings, the second you place your first foot, the braziers on the ceiling and the torches that lead up to the coffin instantly turn green one at a time and begin to illuminate the room.
I played Chrono Trigger. I know what I'm in for here. All right. I am going to... How far away is the casket?
About 50 feet into the room.
I'm going to conjure an elemental to take the skull and place it in there so that I don't have to go into the house, just in case that there's some shady business going on, or it's us placing it in there or something along those lines, just to be extra precautious.
Sure. What kind of elemental are you summoning?
One that won't... It's not going to be fire, because that would be silly. Earth sounds kind of cool. Oh, air. Sounds fun. If it is a vampire, maybe water would be the best one. Yeah, we'll just do water for the hell of it.
Water. Okay. So you summon a water elemental, which typhoons and swirls out in a whirlwind-like fashion. It's very hulking in stature, and you see that the water elemental looks at you as it begins to liquefy and stare at you, and you give it its instruction. It takes the skull and it holds it out in its hands with 2 hands and begins to carry it over. As you look into the room and the water elemental slowly walks to the coffin, you start to notice that as the skull passes the porcelain statues, you notice that all of the statues that it passes all begin to cry blood.
You know what? Hang on a second. I have it pause right where it's at.
Well, what's wrong, Armos? What's the issue here?
Guys, I'm usually pretty good at this stuff. Let me just, I'm just gonna quiz you guys on this, just to make sure we're on the same page. So, creepy thing in the cave. It was alive, had multiple eyes. Asks to bring it here. This place is super nice. Everything's pristine and looking good. And then the statues are now crying blood. I don't know. I'm just getting the vibe that this might not be the right thing to do. I don't know. What do you guys? What is your guys' thoughts? I'm just quizzing you guys.
Look at Drell. Feel like you were the only one that wanted to do this, so.
Yeah, pretty much. I didn't want to be here.
All right. That's what I thought.
I mean, he did call off the giant spider dragons from attacking us.
True.
Mm-hmm.
He did promise me riches or something.
Yeah, he did say he was going to help us.
Your call.
Do you want help for what's above us?
I think you need help, but that's upsetting me.
What's that? What?
Huh?
I didn't hear that.
I didn't hear it. I say we do it. What's wrong? What's got you on easy, Armos? Blink, blink.
All right. Well, the group's spoken. I'm gonna have the water elemental start coming back, and let's see what the house reacts to as it starts coming back out of the house.
Nothing changes with the statues, and the lights still remain on, but the skull returns to you in the water elemental. Armos, as you're doing that, Drell and Minnis, give me perception checks.
It's a nat 20.
Whoa.
I got a 13.
Yes.
All right. Drell, you look down at your feet and you feel like some scratching. Just like you feel like your boots are, like your foot's itchy. And you notice at your feet that there are tiny spiders gathering around.
Oh, God.
Like more than 6. Anything more than 2 is a little weird, but there's like a few spiders, like one's crawling over your boot slowly. And they're just scattered. And you notice them, like there's like a few off by Minnis, and then kind of by like the front door. You even notice some, as you're getting a better look at the manners, like in the grooves of the bricks and of stone, you start seeing some spiders slowly moving, not running, not threatening. A little bit larger than house spiders.
Got it.
Minnis, with your natural 20, you notice that there are spider dragons like moving over you along the ceiling. From your experience with the past fight from the last session, you know that when they move quietly, they are virtually invisible unless you have a light source on them. They move very quietly, but can be loud when they want to. And within that 20, you notice that there are 2 or 3 of them above you in the darkness, like watching over you.
This is a bad idea.
I think the spider dragons are kind of making sure we do what Armos promised, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Watching us.
Promised.
Yeah.
I said I would. I said,
You did make a deal with a room with eyeballs in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which we said was a bad idea.
And I point to me, Minnis, and the Sids.
Well, almost.
So
What's the move?
my guess is it's going to be put the skull and deal with that stuff, or deal with the spider dragons when we don't
Mm-hmm.
do what we said we'd do.
So now with that being said, What do you guys want to do? I hold the
call.
skull out in the middle of the group. It's a group decision.
Yeah, guys, it's a group decision. Armos made a deal. Now we need to deal with it.
Yeah.
So let's all come together and.
Well, you see,
Story of our life, right?
No, it's your decision to place a skull. And if you place it or not, we will deal with the repercussions regardless.
As we go, friends, Armos.
wow.
Got your back, whichever way you choose.
Yeah, probably.
Probably. What, are you going to run away from a fight?
Oh.
No.
That's what I thought.
I was just saying, like, if he just dies right away, then there's no real back to be had. You know? Yeah. They say he, like, instantly dies as soon as the skull gets put down, like, or like he becomes the guy, and then are we gonna have that random guy's back that took over Armos's body? Like, I don't know.
Oh, imagine. That would be cool, Armos.
I wasn't listening. Sorry. I was trying to think of all the revenge I want to get above us.
As I see it, there's no way this can turn bad for us.
I mean, if he's using an elemental, it would try and take over an elemental if that was the case, but
Right.
I don't know. Do what you want to do, Armos. I peek my head into the manor. Hello?
Shut the fuck up.
Oh, wow.
He's just doing special effects ahead of time.
Damn it, I cursed. God.
Yes! one for Tony.
There
Mark
it
it
is.
down. One for Tony.
Darn it.
He's the one that said it too.
Darn.
Curse counter.
Cut it.
Tony.
Curse counter.
One.
Oh, wow, dude.
Oh, man.
Damn, Daniel.
Dan.
So,
Alec.
Armos,
Jared.
what are you doing?
Okay, so this is his skull. We could do all sorts of stuff to this skull if it is him, and if he then rises and tries to fight us, he would be significantly weak. I said I'd return it, but not in what condition. So how about that? And I implore the two of you to think about, and Morgan, if you want to join in.
I want
got
to get
any-
out of here.
Yeah, that
So if
sounds
we're
like
gonna
a
place the
horrible
skull,
idea.
let's place the skull,
Yeah.
or we just run.
I'm gonna be honest, we're kind of in between a rock and a manor, if you know what I'm saying. So it's one or the other is what we're getting. We're either getting spider dragons or we're getting whatever's bleeding from those eyes over there.
Well, then why don't you just do it? And I point to the.
Okay, Mr. I didn't want to do this in the first place.
Well, yeah, but now we're just standing around. Spiders everywhere.
Oh, having a discussion, talking about what our actions are going to be. First,
We're already here.
we don't talk enough.
What
and
is
now
there
we're
to talk
talking
about? We're literally already here.
Well, you see, I could take this and I start like casting some, getting ready to cast some spell and like bringing it closer to the skull just to see what kind of, I could just destroy this thing and I, kind of stop at the last second.
Yeah, can we do like an insight check as he pretends like he's going to destroy it on the spider dragons?
Make me a check.
Insight. I'm good at that.
Nat 20!
Oh, I got a 23.
Okay, well, that's better than my 21.
You hear, as you're talking and lingering, you hear growls of the dragons being impatient more than anything. However, nothing directly reacts to you. Like you have like a firebolt in your hand getting closer to the skull. You're like, nothing happens or changes or moves on those instincts. However, you know that you're being intensely watched by the spider dragons looming above
Are
you.
getting grumpy, Armos.
Good.
You're not sure how many there are.
I don't know how long y'all been waiting, and I'm kind of shouting in the cave. Put the Mecco on there. But you can wait longer. I am going to give it to my water elemental, and he's going to go in there, and we're going to stand outside as we watch him get slowly closer to the coffin.
You see that the water elemental takes the skull, it goes to the main, goes to the coffin that is slightly open. Part of the lid is open, is like slid where his head would be placed. And the elemental looks like it's ready to place the skull.
All right. I'm going to have him... I don't need line of sight for the water elemental, so I'm going to shut the door, and I'm going to cast Arcane Lock on it,
Okay.
which means that it will lock it just in case anything tries to, like, run out the door or anything like that.
Mhm.
Especially with these spiders! Just be precautious!
I lean over to Drell and whisper to Drell, I'm pretty sure there are other doors in this manor.
Yeah.
Hey, they're gonna have to come through the window when I look at you.
Yeah, Minnis.
All right.
Do you see how big those statues are?
You see how tall that window is? Minnis.
Look, we're funneling them.
Uh-huh.
You know what? I go to each. You know what? Just because of that, I go to each window and lock all those too. Boom, boom, boom.
So the water elemental places the skull, and as you close the door, you are now looking through the window to see what happens. As the water elemental places the skull, you see that there are some rumblings from the coffin. And as the coffin begins to rumble and the lid begins to close, you see that the statues begin to move. The porcelain white exterior begins to fade into natural grayish skin tone. And you see various humanoid creatures. You see elves, dwarves, gnomes, humans, halflings, all come to life. And they almost take that first breath of air as you see that the blood that was crying from their eye sockets have now dried and coagulated down their cheeks. And you see that they are all looking around, and some of them grab at themselves. And you see that they go to speak but are instantly muffled as they cannot speak. Then you look over back at the main coffin, and the lid begins to move as you now see the skull, muscle tissue, and bones begin to grow and regenerate in place as it begins to look around with its blood red eyes, and with its making various hands with its muscle tissue trying to move and get things out of the way. It looks around at its surroundings, and you hear the voice echo from beyond the walls and door that you're standing outside of.
Good. Armos, you've looked to kept up your end of the bargain.
Yep, no problem.
He sees
As
all
I'm
of us
through
like
the
stuck
window.
against the window. Yeah.
Typical.
And as the large red skull faces towards the doorway,
As agreed, call my name, and I will aid you when you are most in danger.
and then you see that the coffin begins to shut,
Do you know his name?
and then all the lights begin to dim, and then you see that all the lanterns inside and braziers go out, now creating complete darkness again. And you hear some shuffles among the now living statues, and then everything goes quiet.
All right.
I still have my water elemental in there. Can I get that back?
No, the water elemental has dispersed.
Do you know that guy's name, Armos?
Yeah, I do.
Brixus.
Wait, whoa. Hey, whoa.
I didn't say Lord.
All
Lord. You gotta say it together, like 3 times, I bet.
I'm never gonna say it that way. Just so you know, I'm never saying it that way.
Morgan looks to three and goes, okay, well, that was super creepy.
Yes.
And
We nailed that. Way to go. See, I was just testing you guys. I knew that this was the right decision the entire time.
Yep.
And then I see that there's 2 more windows I didn't lock, and I cast lock on those 2. Yeah.
well, I'm gonna go to the city riddled with monsters now.
Yeah. Yep. Let's go. And
You guys don't want to rest on a boat? Just getting out of here?
oh,
I'll be good.
next to all this, and I motion towards the manor. You wanna sleep over there?
Well, even if I didn't want to do it, they're on our side now, so we'll be safe on this damn boat.
Yeah. You're friends with that guy now, so.
I cast light up on the ceiling as best I can, and it's just, I'm sure, littered with spider dragons.
You cast light on the ceiling, and you see giant spider dragons scatter
Yeah.
into the shadows. They are all sizes. You don't know if most of them are adults, but there are countless.
I'm good. Next area. Ready to go.
I mean,
And I'm light
hold on.
fast walking.
I think Minnis might have a point, though, because once we go up into that city, we don't know if the next time we're going to have a chance to rest.
It is our last chance. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Morgan, is there really no other place that we can rest other than here?
There is my associates that I am meeting do have a hideaway. I mean, it's always a risk if it's still intact, but it's a small area where they rest and stock up on supplies when needed. That's where we're going to as soon as we leave through the sewer cap on the other end. However, I can't guarantee that we're not going to fight something along the way. It's not too far from there, but it's a very dangerous place.
Need a short rest, Armos? Or you maybe just do an hour, then get out.
Okay. I like this idea.
All right,
You talking me?
let's take a rest real quick. We'll do like an hour and then we'll hit the road.
So you guys can just like hang out on the cliff's edge, stare into the water if you like for like a short rest. You don't need to like make camp or anything, or necessarily even get on the boat if you want. But just minutes. Stupid.
We're not getting on the boat.
You want to check out a creepy boat?
No.
So the four of you get under one of the green light posts leading towards the sewer. And she goes, okay, I can use a bit of a rest too. And the four of you take a short rest. Go ahead and get your short rest benefits. Roll any hit die you would like to regain any health that you've taken, and any abilities you get back on a short rest, you regain. So for Armos, that's his spell slots. Drell, that's your fighter abilities such as Second Wind and Action Surge. Surge. You get Action Surge and Second Wind back.
Sir.
On a short rest. Yeah, and let me know how many hit die you guys are using.
I use two of my fighter hit die.
Minnis gets literally nothing back during the short rest, so he's just gonna journal and draw the spider dragons and that eye and the resurrection that he saw.
And I do another inspirational speech while we're resting, because I don't need any hit dice. So you get 21 extra hit points because they went away because of it's a short rest.
They go away. Damn.
But they're back now.
And as the four of you are like gazing out to the water, you do notice a large corpses, like bone piles deep within the water, slowly withering away. They look like the size of like dragons.
You know what, Reginald? I feel bad. You haven't got anything fun lately. I'll use my staff, and I can use telekinesis to pull one of the bones up out of the water for Reginald.
Telekinesis. Is the spell just called telekinesis?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
It's from the staff, and you can move an object that weighs 1,000 pounds.
That's awesome.
You automatically move it up to 30 feet in any direction, but not beyond the range of the spell. So I can move it 60 feet because the spell's 60 feet.
Oh boy, a dragon femur! Do you see that Reginald is gnawing on this bone? Soggy! And he chews on that over the next hour. So, you take a short rest, you gain your hit points. Reginald eats this delicious wet femur. You get your spells and abilities back.
And temporary hit points, still.
And 21 temporary hit points from your second inspirational speech. Fantastic.
Morgan gets them too.
Yes. And the four of you continue southward. And as you continue, you notice that the pathway begins to descend and begins to slowly transition into the water. And as you approach the end of the cave with the pathway now dipping into the water, the rock slowly turns to rusted over metal, similar to that of a pipe. And you see that the cave slowly turns into a sewer's entrance.
Did you happen to get me one of those large potions?
Yes, Minnis, go ahead and roll me 1d4 and add your proficiency bonus.
And my proficiency bonus. Oh,
Yes.
all right. 7.
She goes, hey, yeah, so matter of fact, while you guys were sleeping, I was tinkering around making some concoctions and potions to give off to my associates. And as you requested, I do have some enlargement potions for you.
Oh.
And I managed to make a really volatile brew and she hands you 7 enlargement potions.
Man, I need this many, but oh my
You see
goodness.
there's like a bug and a whole bag and they're clinging together. She goes, yeah, so, sometimes when you're just brewing and tinkering around, sometimes you get more than you expected. I haven't really made this much in a while or made this potion in some time. So I guess I overshot the ingredients, but I just make a large batch.
I think technically they're called potions of growth.
Yes. Whichever one you got in Sandlow, that's the one she
Yeah.
made. Just don't go drink them all one time. They kind of have like an addictive agent to them.
What?
What?
You can't just say addictive agent and then say what after I say what. Like,
You get hooked on them. You get hooked on them. One of the plants that's used to make these brews, can kind of make someone fiend for it. Can make someone like really drawn to them and kind of just want to keep taking the potions over and over again.
okay, so I'm just gonna take one
Yeah.
as we go through the tunnel.
We've heard that before.
I'm sticking to it.
Oh, have you taken this before?
I wasn't addicted to them. I was just psychologically reliant.
Didn't you take like 3 in a day once to impress a girl?
Shut up! And I drink my one of my potions of growth.
And you go ahead and you drink this potion of growth. You now become one size larger. And as you look into the water that slowly goes from blue to this deep, opaque, green, stagnant water, she warns you, she goes, okay, so this is going to go about up to your waistline for all of you. It's about 4 feet deep. It's very gross. Try to stick to the edge of the pipes. It might help you out. There is some ooze-like creatures in here. However, I have this. And she pulls out her longsword, shing, and then it illuminates it in fire. And
Whoa, sick.
her becomes a blaze. She goes, if anything comes our way, or if you feel any itching or scratching or some sensations of burning, or you find yourself that you can't walk anymore, just let me know and I'll stab the water and the ooze usually goes away.
Huh?
Anyway, here we go. All right, here we go.
Excuse me.
I go, twinsies. And I light my rapier on fire. Citronella.
Why'd you yell plant out?
Is it? Well, it's my word. It's my activation word.
Oh, I just have fuel going through the sword. And you notice that it's tinkered with.
Oh.
Oh, that's pretty sick.
Semi-twinsies. And I dink my rapier to her longsword.
Don't touch.
Okay, sorry.
Magical fire and fuel fire don't typically mix well.
Okay. Hey, Drell. You want a potion, by the way?
Mm-hmm.
And I hand him over a potion of growth.
Yeah.
It could be extra big.
Yeah, hold on to it for you. I don't know if I need to be extra big, Minnis.
You never know. Could be fun, though.
True.
I'll give Drell one of the
Who
potions.
knows? Maybe one day.
All right, everybody move your characters on the map. So as you begin to go into the sewer, it instantly curves southward as it begins to turn. And as you see Morgan tries to walk on the edge to not get deep within the water, you notice that the stilled sewer water begins to bubble every so often. And as you head southward, it begins to reveal and paths begin to open. You see that the tunnel to the south is instantly blocked by a cage of some kind. However, the cage blocking the path, looks like this broken, busted out gate that looks like you would cut yourself up if you tried to go through it. And just on the other side of the gate is this deep red and bloody like water. The cross section also goes to the east, where it begins to travel southward or continues westward.
Okay, and what's this stuff on the path to the left?
You see that this pipe is congealed and webbed over in this red gook. This area looks like you would have to cut through it. Southward, you see that there are some strands connecting from the walls, like red goo. However, this path looks easier to navigate because it's very lightly coated and you can just kind of duck under it. The path to the west looks heavily densed and you would need to cut through it and make a path for yourself. She goes, okay, all these pathways kind of lead to the same location. Normally I take west, but it looks like the red ooze that sometimes travel through here looks like it's kind of coagulated, gunked it up this way. So we could go south. I think it might be a little bit longer, but we should make it to our destination.
Wait, what do you mean should?
I don't normally go southward.
You don't have this mapped out?
No, I normally go west.
Okay.
But it's blocked?
It's just blocked, and we're not going to go west. We're just going to go to some random spot. You've been judging us this whole time, and all of a sudden now we're just going to randomly go someplace. What's going on here?
I don't understand. You're being quite accusatory, Armos.
Yeah, because that's what you've been doing to us the entire time.
Hey, we're all on the same side. Minnis gets in the middle.
If we need to go west, we can go west.
Okay.
Do you know where you're going if we go south? That's a no.
She looks at a piece of paper.
That's
and
a
she
no.
goes, yes.
That's a no. Oh.
I'm fine trying to get rid of that gunk if possible. We can try and get rid of it. And if we can't get rid of it, then let's just go south.
All right, let's do it. She goes westward and takes out her inflamed sword and begins to cut through it. And it takes like a bit of doing as she cuts through the first couple of strands. It's like, and it's like snapping away.
I smile at her. I'm like, ha, look at us. 2 people with some flame swords as I'm going, yeah.
Minnis, make me an attack roll.
Yeah.
With the fire sword.
Nat 20.
You instantly carve through these 3 large strands that you and Morgan are cutting away. You're like, and you see that when it snaps, it doesn't just like fall into the water. It snaps back into the wall.
I do like a side swipe, and then a back flip twist to chop the last one.
And you and Morgan begin to move forward. Armos, are you doing anything to help?
Well, I was going to, but Minnis seemed to do it with ease. But for this next one, you're saying? This next congealed thing?
Well, this one's a bit bigger. Armos, you want to give it a shot?
I'll try to help a little bit, and so I firebolt it.
Here, step back, Morgan.
Okay, yeah.
What? I don't. Oh, okay. Well, I'm not trying to. I was just gonna kind of help.
Oh, you got this.
Okay. Here we go.
Show her what a real tiefling can do.
All right, fine. Here we go. Fireball.
You cast Fireball. This giant web of gook and goo begins to disperse. Drell, as you stand behind watching them burn everything, do you have any reactions to a 24 to hit?
Whoa.
What?
It's like an attack roll?
Yes.
No.
Shield.
Oh, yeah, I have shield. No. I don't know if I want to use it.
Tail.
These all cost me things, Minnis.
But so does damage. Costs you health.
Yeah, I have a decent amount of that. Okay, I can use my tail reaction to grow my AC.
This is the first time you're using tail since your fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
You go to summon your tail, your Path of the Beast, right? That's what your subclass is called?
Yes.
You go to grow this tail, but rather than it changing your appearance where it physically grows out, you see in this ice-like fashion, this blue dragon tail made of glacier's ice spiral out in this translucent blue style dragon tail, and it smacks away this red ooze that looks like it was trying to overcome and tidal wave you, and it looks like if it was going to hit, it was going to drag you underneath the water. And as you smack it away, you hear this gurgly growl coming from the red ooze as it goes back into the water, and the water bubbles and then instantly subsides. You cannot see it underneath the water.
Guys, there's a giant goo monster back here, Minnis.
The flames subside. What was that? I couldn't hear you over the fireball.
Oh my god, this is so annoying. Nothing.
Are you okay?
And I pull out my axe and I just look around.
Ha!
Panicked.
We took care of the goo. This way. Shout to Drell as we move forward.
See? West. It's clear. All right. Where to now?
And the four of you continue westward. Drell, you have your axe out, and you notice that your dragon tail, your beastly tail that you've been summoning, looks very different, majestic. It looks cleansed in a way.
Interesting.
And you continue to travel westward. And as you continue to travel, the tube begins to bend, revealing even more of this gookity gook.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. We're almost around there. We're almost out. Shouldn't be too long as you can keep going through. Drell, what are you doing now that you have been ambushed by the slime?
I think I'm just walking backwards almost, just trying to see if I see any movement in the water as we're walking away.
As you continue to go, you see Morgan takes the lead and begins to try to chop down this next web of red slime. As Armos, you try to go up, and a 16 to hit as this red tendril comes from the water and tries to slam down onto you as it sticks to the wall and tries to pull you under the water. Do you have any reactions?
I Hellish Rebuke. How about that?
Oh, okay.
That is a reaction.
Okay.
I try to Hellish Rebuke it before it slams me.
Definitely hits first because Hellish Rebuke will happen after. So you're going to be taking 12 points of acidic damage and an additional 9 points of bludgeoning damage. And you're going to have to make me a dexterity saving throw of a DC 14 as you are going to do how much damage as you do a Hellish Rebuke.
23 damage.
23 points of damage. Ooh, that's good. Matter of fact, it's so good that it instantly lets go upon taking that fire damage, and then tries to let it releases its grip after you take that damage, and you see it smack back into the water, and then you see that Drell, you notice that there's some slime that goes past your feet in the water as it tries to get away.
Do I get to try to take an opportunity attack on it?
Absolutely.
Nice. 22 to hit.
22 hits. How much damage are you doing to it?
32 damage.
Ooh, 32 points of damage. You feel that as you connect your axe, it squeals as this large blood red bubble pops and splatters all over the wall. The splatters begin to reform new webbing behind you, and you see that it trails off into the sewer, and you see like the watermarks underneath the water path is like zigzagging. Now it's very sporadic as you see that it tries to get away from you.
Yeah, get out of here.
Armos, you notice that some of your armor is like singed a little bit from the acid.
I just got this. How dare you?
What was that?
It's the ooze that lives in here. It's what we're cutting down. We're cutting it down so it knows where we are.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, this thing's kind of annoying. It hasn't posed this much of a problem before, but it tends to grow if left unmaintained.
Armos is about to lose his mind on stuff that could have been brought to our attention earlier, but that's okay. He's keeping it to himself.
Well, we had this discussion.
I kept it to myself. Kept it to myself.
Fine. And you see that she chops away from more of the red goo.
Yeah.
Oh, we're not too far away from it now anyway. And she continues to travel down the pipe. The water still seems still. Drell and Armos, as you two are on guard after being attacked by it. Minnis, go ahead and make an attack roll the next web goo to see if you can break through it.
Yeah, that's going to be a 25.
25 does it as you slice through with your flame rapier and keep going through. Awesome. You guys do great. You guys doing great. There's no more bubbling. Drell, as you're keeping as you're following behind you, like you're putting your axe in the water to kind of feel around for it. You notice from after you attacking it, like the water gets much denser and thicker when it's like in your area. That's what you notice when it walked past you, and you feel confident that it is not necessarily scared, but now maintaining a distance from you. And you see that there's another lining of web. She goes, okay, looks like we're right around the bend. It should be right after we leave this pipe over here. Just keep heading westward and we should get there. And then she goes ahead, she cuts the last webbing and then continues to head southward. And you see that the webbing is now, the pipe is now free of this red webbing. It's just westward, and there's gonna be a ladder at the other end of the pipe. So let's talk here for a second, because things are gonna happen very quickly when we go through here. The city is very large, and all of it is overpopulated with various monsters. There are demons that live within there, but there are also monstrosities consumed by the infection. All the buildings are overgrown with this red slime. Massive, busted out holes similar to anthills with creatures that look like mutated ants, spiders, insects that have all been inflicted by this curse. There are parts of the city that are not covered in this. There are towers that are alive. They look like massive, giant tentacles or things with like long necks with heads at the end of them. There are not any monsters or hydras that I have seen, but those towers are on constant surveillance for things that do not belong in there. Cultists can walk around freely within this city. I don't know how they do it. We have someone that tries to disguise themselves as a cultist, but is frequently attacked. We think it has something to do with the blood shards. We noticed that cultists have blood shards stuck in their skin. We think that acts as some type of pass key for the demons. Some of the monsters that live there will attack regardless, but they are very territorial to the places in the city that they reside in. However, not only do demons walk around there are also these tin soldiers, as we'll call them, that walk around with eyes of green flames.
Oh, we've seen guys like that before.
Well, you might know more about them than I do, because we tend to avoid those. Yeah,
it's a good idea.
Tin soldiers tend to hang around the military ward. Now, Stratham before fell was a large militaristic city. It has a lot of defenses and a lot of different districts that hide behind walls. What we're gonna do when we come up from the sewer cap, there's gonna be a lot to look at. You need to get up and run southward. We need to go
south
along the wall to the housing district. There is going to be an infected house that is covered in this red webbing that you've seen here. We managed to make a safe location. We call the house the Iron and Blood because it's a little pun. There's only a handful of us, but we managed to secure a safe location for us to hide away. And the cultists or the tin soldiers do not check this area because it's infected and overgrown by insect monsters. There's nothing for them here. Any organic life, food, and anything of that nature is corrupted and overgrown or just decayed from this point. There's no resources in this part of the city that we're about to enter into. And as dangerous as those monsters can be, it's the safest place for us, at least. So that's why the hideaway is here. Once you leave from the sewer cap, You're going to run south, but you have to be as quiet as possible. Do not make noise. The city is very loud, but try not to make any noise to alert any of the insect monstrosities.
Run south, be quiet. Run south, be quiet.
You look for a small stone structure tower covered in this red gook.
Yes.
What about civilians?
They do not exist here. There are prisoners, and that's something some of the people who are in that hideaway trying to find. We do know that there are prisoners that are brought to the city. For what we know, it's probably to sacrifice to a Christo. But Viral has other plans here.
All right, let's do it.
You begin to head westward, and at the other end of this rusted sewer, you approach this broken, rusted over ladder. Get to the ladder, and 60 feet straight up, you see a sewer cap with tiny holes. Faint red light dripping in from the surface above you. As you focus in on the sewer cap, the cave sounds begin to fade as the noise of the surface begins to bleed through. Thuds and stomps of giant beasts echo through the sewer, shaking the rust from the pipe around you. Growls and shrieks echo into your eardrums. Through the veil of howling creatures, you hear familiar sounds of ballistas booming from the Red Guard. However, the faint glimmer of radiance is shrouded by overwhelming necrotic evil that is seeping through the sewer cap. How are the three of you climbing up? Who's going first?
I'm going first. And from the outside, you see slowly 2 horns come up through the holes of the sewer cap, and then my head slowly come up with the sewer cap as I look around.
So, Minnis, you're going to go first. Who's going second, third, fourth?
I'll go fourth. I'll go last.
So, Morgan's going to be directly behind you, Minnis, and then Armos, and then Drell. You climb up and open the sewer cap, and the dried blood and viscera begins to pour into the sewer, spilling onto you as you poke your head through. You see battered, beaten, and destroyed buildings. Homes, stores, and towers collapse onto each other. And you look over and you see buildings that are glued over with this red guck and fleshy sinew. Shadows of flying creatures pass by, alerting you to the bright blood-red clouds that illuminate the city. Swoosh! A massive giant tentacle in stature in the distance can be seen clashing down onto a building, destroying it just a city block over. It grabs a human-like being, bringing it up to the sky, and crushes it. The nameless body pops like a water balloon filled with blood. Before you could fully understand any of your surroundings, Morgan begins to push you up and beckons you to follow her quickly as the sounds of shrieks begin to deafen.
Yeah, I do that, and because I'm ready to go, I forget to take the sewer cap, and it's just still in my head as I'm running.
Minnis, you open up from the sewer cap, and Morgan instantly pushes through. You see these buildings that are covered in this red slime and guck. All the buildings are like collapsed or mushed, pushed together. The grounds have these massive vines that are growing this weird foliage and rusted over, and every step you take on the bloody dried ground cracks underneath your hooves, all the dried blood that has been piling on top of each other. On every single one of these buildings, there are 2 to 3 of these giant ant-like creatures. They are massive. They have multiple legs, large talons with huge mandibles with shield-like horns, and they are crawling, and it looks like they're feasting or spewing more of this red guck, spreading the infection over the city. The 4 of you are now on the street side. There's these massive vines that kind of compass over you, acting as like massive bridges or barricades. You see that all the bugs are preoccupied. No 2 looks the same. To the north, you see this massive living tentacle that looks like a giant tower that casts a shadow over the city. Unlike the rest of South Trillis that has been darkened by these clouds, this place is rather bright, where the blood red moon is shining almost onto it. This is the most light you've seen in weeks.
I go run.
Everybody make these stealth checks as you are now running southward.
Oh God.
Do I even roll my stealth check after that?
What'd you roll?
I rolled an 11, but I'm sure Jared rolled a nat 1.
I rolled a 28.
Armos, what did you roll?
A 0.
A literal 0.
Armos, coming out of the sewer cap right away, you trip on the vines, and you tripping, and you see Mar goes, oh my Lord, and she runs over and she tries to pick you up. As you are getting picked up, you hear the sounds of one of these creatures from the buildings above you. And begins to bleed and throw up blood onto you. I'm gonna need all of you to make me initiative.
Make you initiative.
I'm sorry. Everybody roll me initiative. It wasn't one of these giant blood bugs spots you as Armos trips onto the floor.
22.
Damn it, Armos, you had one job.
I got a nat 20 on initiative, so, you know.
That's good. He is in panic mode, so.
We're going to start on initiative 22 as Minnis, one of these blood bugs from a giant building that looks like a tavern of some kind. It spots you and is now bleeding and shrieking blood in your direction as you see like these little larvae spew out of its mouth and like crusted over, broken up red vines.
Nice.
What are you doing?
I guess I'm going to cast Bless again on everybody. Oh, goodness. All right. Sid, take care of the guys. And Sid casts Bless on everybody, and I am going to be like, just run, guys, just run. And I am going to run 30 feet to the south. And I think that's all I can do. Yeah, I could use a Nature's Veil, but I think that's pointless right now. So I'm just going to start running.
Okay, you go ahead. You run south as you're trying to get out of this thing's way. And we're going to move to initiative 20, which is Armos.
All right, so I'll Eldritch Blast it away from us so we can run without getting, opportunity attacked or whatever it is. So it'll get blasted backwards.
Sure, roll to hit.
A 22 to hit, 24 to hit, and a 30 to hit.
Yeah, those all hit.
27 damage.
And you see that as you shoot, it begins to tumble backwards as the 3 blasts hit onto the back side of the roof. And you run 30 feet in Minnis's direction. We're going to move. Staying on initiative 20, there are lair actions that happen independently.
Okay.
Let me just roll something here. No big deal. No big deal.
Oh, God.
You see a massive shadow fly over you.
Oh.
From north to south. As large wings, you see about 4 wings on this beast. And it slithers like a snake as blood drips onto the floor in a path. And you see that as the blood drips, it begins to burn the ground a little bit. Everybody make me a dexterity saving throw.
Bless was a good call. All right.
So we get to add a D4, right? That would be a good old 6 for me.
Oh, man. I got a 28.
Got a dirty 20.
Ooh, Armos, you're going to take, Armos and Morgan are going to take, not too bad, low roll, 6 points of acid damage as this acidic blood drops onto you like acid rain.
All right.
That creature that flew over did not look like an insect. It looked like a demon that had like a long snake-like body, and it was heading to a direction and was not alerted by your pet. Like, it was not alerted to what you're doing. It just happened to fly over you. And then we're gonna move to initiative 10, which is this bug-like creature. And Morgan's gonna go first. She goes, okay, all right, we gotta keep going. Come on, Drell, let's go. And she's gonna go ahead and run a little bit further than you. She's gonna use her dash action as she's gonna run 70 feet ahead total.
Wait.
The building marked by the green and red flower. Go ahead towards the basement. You're gonna look for a storm cellar door, and there's gonna be a stone staircase that heads downward into the basement. Go there. And she's going to make a dash action. She runs 70 feet south. She's a little quicker than the 3 of you, and we're gonna move to initiative 10, which is this bug creature. And you see that one of them comes over. It looks like it has its arms blasted off from the Eldritch blast, and you see that a second one is now coming over to Armos and Minnis. Armos and Minnis, you're gonna make me a dexterity saving throw with DC 13.
Oh, destroyed it. I got an 18 plus all my
Nice.
random shit. Oh, I swear.
Man, Canada. Armos, what did you get?
I got an 8. Wait, hang on. 22.
The two of you are going to take half of 11 points of acid damage as this thing spews this green reddish muck onto you. Drell, this thing is the other one, the one that's more damage, is going to leap onto you. The one that Armos had attacked with Eldritch Blast is going to leap and try to bite you.
Oh god.
As it lands in front of you, this thing is very large, but it's going to miss with a 9.
I will use a reaction to smack it
Roll hit.
with my axe. 24.
It's
Nice. 25 damage.
Yeah, you come down as this thing misses with its bite. You take a step back and you slam your axe into the head of this bug that was heavily damaged from Armos, and it does not get back up. And you see it like twitches and then slowly starts. The acidic blood begins to dissolve its carapace in place.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And I pull my axe out of it.
Now we're gonna move to initiative 9, which is you, Drell.
I would like to move forward to the group, so I'm gonna just catch up with the guys. Okay, yeah, so it's only 30 feet, so I'm gonna use my 30 feet of movement to move with the group, and then I would like to prepare an attack action that if it jumps down to try to attack us, I want to be able to attack it back.
Absolutely. So you're waiting for it to enter your space.
Yep.
We're gonna go back to up to initiative 22 minutes.
I'm going to take a dash action, and I am going to go 70 feet to the south towards the storm cellar door.
Awesome. We're gonna move to initiative 20, which is Armos.
Yeah, I think I'll do the dash action as well and try to get back up to where Minnis is. Not quite there, but almost.
So you run 60 feet southward, taking a dash action, and then while on initiative 20, we're gonna make another roll here. No big deal, no big deal. Yeah, lair stuff. Nothing in your area immediately happens. You aren't affected by anything, but you do hear an eruption, a small earthquake in the distance. It's not necessarily in your district, but you do hear an eruption of some kind. So then we're going to go to initiative 10, which is this creature. So the one that's on top of the building is going to continue following you, Armos, and Morgan, and going to try to come down and attack Morgan. Gonna try to bite. Oh, we're gonna nat 20. Gonna take 26 points of damage total, 14 piercing, and 6 acidic damage as you hear a shriek come from her as she is just bit, just and like goes to like try to attack it back with a sword. It's also her initiative, so she's going to attack back, just hitting. She's going to deal 13 points of slashing and 6 points of fire damage with her inflamed longsword. After she gets bit, she slices up through the bug as the bug like shrieks back, goes back on its hind legs, and Morgan is going to continue to run southward towards Armos and Minnis. Took a nasty hit there from the bug, and we're going to go to initiative 9, Drell.
I'm going to use my 30 feet of movement to where the monster is, and I'm going to attack it. First attack, 22 to hit.
Hits.
Second attack, 23 to hit. Last one is a 16 to hit.
Hits.
85 damage.
You cut this thing in half with that damage. Your axe cuts through him like a hot knife through butter as this thing just splits apart and is now dead. We're gonna keep initiative, but you are currently out of combat as these other bug creatures do not notice you just yet. What are the three of you doing? Are you just running to the door? As Morgan shouts like, let's go.
Yeah, I'm just going right to the door.
Yeah.
Okay, so the three of you take this chance and you run to the door, which is, we're gonna draw an arrow here. So this city is very large. We're gonna now start placing markers on the map for different key places, so you can kind of keep track of where everything is. The four of you run into this stone tower that's attached to a house. It looks like a makeshift guard tower of some kind that has been knocked down. And you run to the side storm door, and you see that there is a stone staircase that leads southward. Around the staircase is this blue glyph that faintly glows and rotates around said staircase. Minnis, you instantly recognize this as some type of protection rune, but it doesn't feel holy. It feels more arcane than anything. She goes, okay, so this rune basically kind of hides us from any outside magics or detection spells that are trying to find us. It doesn't necessarily stop anything from coming through, but the creatures from the outside seem to ignore it, which is why it's safer than anywhere else in the city. And you see that her fox comes through the door, and like the fox had like turned invisible up until now and like kind of makes itself reappear. You see one of the SIDs is actually sitting on it. All right, there's a group of people down here, hopefully, and hope they're all here. And let me go ahead and introduce you. And she goes, just follow me. And she heads southward into the dark tunnel.
I follow.
She knocks on the door, and the door opens, and she gives a very signature style knock, almost like a passcode. As you enter this cellar, you see that the cellar is a very small makeshift tavern of some kind, a speakeasy. You see that there are 2 tables set up. You see that there's a fireplace that is not emitting any smoke, giving a sense of a magical fire burning. You see a couple of torn up couches and chairs. In the back corner of the room, there is loose tattered drapes which loosely cover up some beds. There's a storage room immediately to your right, and there's a couple of tables where you do see some patrons sitting there. And you see that there are people inside that seem cautious at first. You see some daggers being drawn and then immediately put away as a halfling runs up and hugs Morgan. She goes, Morgan, you're here. Oh, I'm so happy to see you. I haven't seen you in so long. And then a gnome pops up and goes, oh my God, is that Morgan? And you see that these 2 small people come up and hug Morgan as they seem really happy. Morgan begins to smile as you instantly recognize their green cloaks.
Oh, yeah.
This is Hugh and Baldy from the Shadow Smugglers.
I knew it.
And in the corner, you see that there are some other patrons. However, you see another familiar face begin to flap on by.
Yep.
Oh, God.
As you see an owl posted up on one of the perches of the wooden columns looking over. She goes, hello, Morgan. It's nice to see you again. I'm glad you made it back safe. As you notice, Leslie Quillfeathers beating in.
Oh, my friends. Oh, my goodness. It's so good to see you.
Wait, oh my God. And you see the gnome and Hugh. You see Baldy and Hugh look over. Oh my God, is that Minnis PebbleWalker? And they begin to hug you. Like, oh, I haven't seen you forever. How's that wound going? You see Hugh is like trying to get your shirt off to look at the scar that he had healed all the way back from
that's
Ark.
weird. You don't need to do
oh
that.
My God,
Okay,
did he heal up?
stop.
Wow, this is healing up well. Baldy pokes it. It's like, wow, that scar's really healing up well. Look, it barely even hurts. He's poking you with a stick.
Ow. Okay. Let's how about we sit down and chat?
Oh, we love to chat. Come on in. We're just, we're having a couple of drinks, going over our next plans,
Ugh.
talking about what the next move is.
Drinks in the Red City. Imagine that.
Yeah, it's not the best drinks. It's really just water mixed with a little bit of alcohol. But we do what we do best. We make do.
Oh,
I might
hey,
be
Drell,
able to-
maybe you can help with that.
Yeah, I was going to say I might be able to help with that.
I'll go and grab a chair at one of the tables.
Minnis, you are stopped you're stopped and shocked as you immediately look over at one of the tables and you see a dwarf with its feet kicked up. It has an eye patch on. Well, I never thought I'd see the 3 of you again.
I thought
It has been some time.
you could be dead.
Me? Nah, they wish I'd be dead.
Bring it in. And I go hug who I assume is Duncan.
It is Duncan.
Oh, I thought it was the pirate that we left on the. I was going to say, if it was that pirate guy we left on an island, that would have been crazy.
Oh, it's been awkward.
It was real awkward.
You see Duncan immediately kicks out from the chair, gets up and hugs Minnis and gives him a sturdy pat on the back. Well, if it isn't the 3 heroes, my faithful carriers, it's been some time, lads.
Man,
It's good to see you.
we must had a few days with you and then never saw you again.
Oh, I guess that's just how it could run down, didn't it? But I've heard all about you.
Been doing a lot since we've seen you.
I've noticed. Lord Baron seems to eat up my ear when I talk to him about you.
Who knew your tiny quest would turn into something so grand?
Yeah, I said when you come back to it, it seems like all my fault, doesn't it?
No, that's not what I was saying. That's not what I was saying, Duncan. I'm so happy to see you.
It's good to see a friendly face.
Sit with us. Why don't you?
Absolutely. We have dirt to drink, but dirt among friends is good dirt. And you see that he pulls up a chair, and Duncan looks over at you, Armos, and you, Drell. You see Hugh walks over to you, Drell, because last time you saw him, you saved his life.
Yeah, I remember.
When you carried him through, the city. He goes, man, I'm really happy to see you, man. How you been?
Oh, just still trying to live and survive, What about you? How are you feeling? I know it's been a really long time, but
I mean, I feel great. And you see, he's jumping on his feet a little bit. He's like, I've been toughening up ever since ever since the last day we saw you in Dillmore. But yeah, I feel as great as ever thanks to you.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, we all needed each other and we all survived together. So I'm glad. Unfortunately, not all of us could make it, but I'm glad we were able to do what we could.
Yeah, it's I wish things I did a little bit differently, but at the end of the day, we do what we take what we can and take it in stride. Yeah, just hope for the best. And we're here now trying to make all the more of a difference. Armos, Leslie's looking at you, like perched up on like this little post. She goes, you seem different.
What? Why?
I'm not talking to you. And Reginald goes, this owl's freaking me out. Why do I freak you out? And the owl seems to be staring at Reginald. You seem to have gotten thinner.
What is that supposed to mean?
Oh, nothing. You were just fat last time.
What does that mean?
And then Leslie looks over to you almost, goes, you seem to make a dark dealing recently. The stench of the undead is strong on you.
Always.
It's a little more pungent now.
I just blink at her. I think that's what isn't that what she used to do to her?
Yeah, she blinks at you one eye at a time.
I do that thing that you do at restaurants where you combine 2 smaller tables into a bigger table.
Pretty much, yeah. So you take the 2 round tables in here and you put them together.
Yeah.
And you see that Leslie goes, yes, let us rejoice and talk amongst friends in jubilation. And frantically flies to another post.
Nice.
Baldy is still talking to Morgan. It's like, wow, I'm so happy you're here, and hopefully you got some good news for us. He goes, yes, I did. I got your letter, and I do have some more supplies for you guys. And I wasn't able to bring back anything with a little more power to it. I know you guys are trying to blow a hole in a reinforced wall. I wasn't able to make anything too crazy, but I was able to bring back some dynamite and some minor explosives. But the outpost just isn't as equipped as it is lately with everything going on above. Yeah, we're trying to do what we can. It's just gotta be a quick job, we gotta get in and out, and we just don't have the time to sneak through the hangars like that. But come on, let's talk about it. And you see that Morgan takes out a large satchel from a bag of holding that she has. It's a pretty big bag. It has a very variety of potions and tools, and then general goods in there. Like you do see some extra tools, pliers, empty beakers. It looks like supplies that they would need on a day-to-day basis and need to just stock up on. And Baldy takes that and he goes into the storage room, plops them down and starts going through them. And after a few minutes, he comes back out and goes to one of the tables. Duncan has pushed the tables together and started getting some of this dirt ale, as they all been referring to, and put some pitchers on the table.
I want to pull out my alchemy jug and then just cast ale and then just use that to pour actual
Good stuff.
Oh,
Here you go. Well, it's not the best, but it's probably a little bit better than what you guys are drinking right now.
are you a holy man? Because you sure are a blessing.
Brings you over, and you see guys like, oh, finally, someone with a little punch to it. Nice. Huey takes a seat. Baldy comes over and takes a seat. Leslie is perched with a very unique mug. It seems like she has a decorative mug that's unique to herself. And Morgan goes over to the south part of the room. She goes, I'll be with you just a minute, guys. I need to catch up with someone. And goes to the south part of the room. And there's a figure in another green cloak, similar to the Shadow Smuggler cloak. And Morgan walks over to him and is somebody who's keeping to themselves. And she has a conversation with, and they both get up and they walk to the southern part of the room, just beyond the couch, to try to get some privacy to communicate with each other. She goes, don't mind him. He's he's one of the newbies to the crew, but he's on the shy side. He doesn't really take well to strangers. We don't get many strangers in here, but he'll ease up in a few after Morgan has talked to him.
Oh, okay.
His mind is elsewhere.
Who are they?
His name's Slash.
Sly.
Yeah, he's someone that joined us recently. We noticed that whenever he goes out and on missions and tries to blend in, he always comes back a little secluded. It takes a lot out of him. He did just get back somewhere recently and just wanted some time to himself. Him and Morgan are really good friends, so he really just only opens up to her when the time has come, and sometimes hangs out with us when he's well rested. Just best to give him some space. As
All right.
Baldy pulls the chair up, says that to you.
Oh, it'll be nice to rest here for a little bit before going back out. That it is like a undead apocalypse outside.
Yeah, it's terrible out there. Hugh comes up. It's
It's literally like one of the 9 hells out there. It sucks.
Sure does.
Yeah. So why are you here?
Oh, well, trying to find Ritz Gulak.
Who now?
Some demon toad guy and his Armos. You can explain it better than I. This is kind of your thing, so.
He's a dead man, and we don't need to explain it.
Yep. Okay. That's yeah. Long story short, we're trying to find a way to make it into a Christos realm.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know who Rich Gulak is. As Hugh begins to chime in, he's like, I don't know who Rich Gulak is, but Viral is the big wig in this city.
Yes.
So I would imagine that if you're trying to cross over, you want to go see him. And, well,
That's the plan.
Viral is very popular here. He runs the show. That entrance that you're trying to get through, he opens it for sure. I don't know if you've seen it when you came in. There's a dark tower to the north that is ominously out of place, and there are a bunch of clouds circling around it. The 3 of you have not noticed it yet. Within the immediate carnage of you coming out from the sewer cap, there's a tower to the north just beyond the town square. That's where he is.
Speaking of which, Minnis still has a sewer cap on his head, and he doesn't realize.
That's a nice hat you got. You take the you got some on your
Hat?
Yeah, take the sewer cap off.
Oh, sorry. I take it off, and then my potion wears off, and I also reduce back to my normal size.
Oh, you did get small. Wow. I thought you looked a little different. I forgot you had a large on.
Yeah.
So, so, I mean, if you want to go talk to Vero, that's a trip and a half. You can't necessarily just walk up. Yeah.
Nope.
You'll be fighting everything in your way. The city's crawling with demons and monsters.
Right.
They got the hard hats walking around. They're not easy. They're like searching buildings nonstop.
We fought one when we were in Shadowfell.
In Shadowfell?
Yeah. We used one of those lanterns.
Well, he takes out the Fel Ogburn.
Yeah. We got the same.
This is what you got. You got one from Jubes. Yeah, we've noticed some cultists with similar lanterns. We haven't seen them use it, but
yes,
we have seen some cultists here. So we know that the tin men, the tin soldiers, as we call them, they're actually not tin. They're very, very strong, tough metal. They're
right.
Quite the foe. But the tin heads, they all seem to be in the military ward, and there are these assortment of hangars, and that's where they reside. And then Duncan chimes in and goes, "That's where I'm trying to be."
Oh, okay.
Well, through my adventures, if there's I heard that when Vera was taking prisoners and not using every victim as a sacrifice, I just had to come check because, you know, if it's possible that Bushwick could be here. Barry was one of my best friends.
Yeah.
And I wasn't able to sleep at night knowing that the son may still be alive. So I wanted to come here and try to find something for myself.
I mean, there's a chance.
There is a chance, lad. There is a chance.
It's always a chance. Try to keep telling myself that lately. It's hard with the way things are.
Well, if I can take out a demon or two while I'm here, then it's worth it.
Oh, yes, please. Yes, please. So you guys are blowing up a wall?
We're trying to get into one of the hangars.
Okay, that's part of your job as well. Okay.
These lads here are helping me. As you know, the Shadow Smugglers and I go way back. Me and Jubes.
Oh, yeah.
You see that when he says the name Jubes, like everybody's head goes down. Take like a second to reminisce. We think that the people who aren't being sacrificed to a Christo, we heard that they're being taken to the hangars. We have seen some convoys of cultists from the southern gates being taken to those hangars. We haven't gotten too close. Leslie over here was able to take a look at some of the hangars, but as you can see, there's a lot of flying demons roaming around. So it's not the easiest task. So we've been traveling on foot, and we're not sure which hangar it is. So we're trying to find clues and watch them to see where they can go.
Well, with a team like this, I'm sure you guys will get that figured out. I'm impressed with the team you've gathered and how strong y'all look.
Yeah, we're getting there. We are getting there. And he looks over and they all look at each other and they begin to laugh.
Yeah.
But if you 3 are going to Vero's tower, then I'm not sure how the 3 of you are going to get in there, but perhaps we can help.
Maybe. There's always going to be need for help along the way, so anything you can offer, it's greatly appreciated.
My best guess is that we take a look at the cultists that are walking around. They can walk around freely. They do not anger the Tin Men. It seems that they're working side by side with them. And the demons seem to ignore them, as well as the living towers that are scattered throughout the city do not seem to swing at them. Our companion Sly over there has tried many times to blend in with the cultists, and although he is able to fool the cultists themselves. Anything of any demons or monstrosities, he's not able to fool. I would try to figure that out.
Wow. Okay. A lot of hurdles to figure out.
I don't think it's going to be much of an easy walk as you think it is, lad, but
No.
unless you're willing to fight all the way there, that is a possibility.
Well, hey, enjoy the ale. That'll be good for your spirits. A good spirit to keep your spirits up. I'm going to go talk to Morgan again, though, and see if we can figure out our next step. All right? You guys stay merry.
You too, lad. You too. And I'll be here drinking all the ale I can. You see that he pours like his third cup.
Oh, don't change.
As he takes the alchemy jug like away from Drell's hands, like he rips it out. He goes, "Let me see that for a second." And he pours out of it.
Wait, stop. It's mine.
Come on, we got plenty to share. Come on.
I'm going to kind of make a nod to Armos, like maybe we should go talk to Morgan and figure out our next step.
Yep. That's what it seems like.
All right. So Armos, you're going to follow Minnis and head to the south part of the room where Morgan and Sly are in like this tattered, there's like a curtain that blocks off some of the beds and they're talking in private, but you can see through the tattered curtains. They don't really give them that much privacy.
Knock, knock.
And you peek through and they turn to you. They instantly know that you're coming through. Oh, hey, Minnis. Hey, Armos.
Hey, we're not going to have a lot of time here, so I just wanted to kind of pick your brain about our next steps as we make our way towards Vir Grimgar's tower.
You see that the cloaked figure known as Sly looks up to you. It's like, it's not going to be as easy as you think it is.
Are you Sly? I heard the others talking about you a little bit.
Yes. I've recently joined over the last few months, and they're quite a useful team, and have been very nice to me, and I'm very grateful for that.
Ah, good. Good to hear. They've done good by us before, so I'm glad they're here to help you. My name's Minnis PebbleWalker of the Ivory Boulders. Pleasure to meet you, and I reach my hand out.
He looks at you for a second, and then looks at Morgan, and then Morgan nods her head in approval, and he goes to shake it back, and he pulls his hood back a little bit. Wearing one of these Shadow Smuggler cloaks, you notice that his face is pale powder white with black Rorschach markings. His pale powder white skin is blending in with these pitch black Rorschach markings that's along his skin, on his neck, and some on his face. And he has long black and white hair that fall partially covering his face. He's standing around 5 feet tall. He's wearing studded black leather armor and has 2 long rapiers stowed at his waist. And he has a short bow slung around his shoulder. Just call me Sly.
All right, Sly, will do.
Morgan interjects and she goes, Sly here is a very unique person. What you may refer to as a changeling.
Whoa.
What he's been doing around here is that he's able to disguise himself as one of the cultists here and is able to get around town a little easier than the other members can. It's been really great for gathering information, supplies, and knowledge throughout the city. However, he's only able to fool cultists and, well, the demons and the tin heads. They seem to catch on very quickly when he's around. So we're trying to figure out what the difference is between the cultists and Sly. And we've been trying a number of things. And we think that the secret lies within the Bloodshards.
Oh, interesting. So you think some of the cultists that have the blood shards infused in their body, that's what's setting him off because he doesn't have blood shards?
We're thinking that's the case, but there are different levels to the cultists. Like some of them can't speak, some of them wear different outfits, some of them just have this different presence all around them. So maybe there's like some level of access that if you're trying to go to Viral's tower, you may need a little more than just a blood shard. We have seen cultists be taken away by living towers when needed. It seems that the living towers, although demon in nature, protect the cultists. They need to eat at random points and show their bestial side, and will just randomly take someone living and just eat them. You were instantly reminded of when you first entered the city through the sewer cab. You saw that exact thing happen, that one of these giant tentacle-like towers grabbed somebody, popped them in the tentacle, and like ate them. So although like these towers may just eat people, I'm sure they know not to eat certain people. There has to be some hierarchy, right? And you see like Sly nods in her direction. He goes, I agree. There are definitely those who are in power and give commands, and the ones that I've seen the living towers snatch up seem to be grunts, let's call them. Seems like just to be another occupational hazard among their cult, to serve their body, to serve a greater cause of some kind.
Gotcha. Well, if we're going to make our way to the tower, I guess we could try disguising ourselves a bit, but we're not much good at that. We might just have to be stealthier more than anything else.
If you're trying to get to the tower, it's a fight you will have. Perhaps there's another way to the tower than just the path to the north.
Oh, really? I mean, you look like you've been around this place a bit. You have any ideas?
I do. There are several buildings. Let's start from the beginning. The city is broken up into various districts. There is a military ward, the rich, where the rich folk once lived, where the common people have lived, the market district. There's even a stadium, a coliseum on the west end of the city. And then to the northwest, there is a large castle, a ruined castle. It's no longer standing from the years that it's been here. But I would imagine that perhaps the ruined castle may have a path, an underground path of some kind to Viral's tower, or maybe from the military ward, any one of these places of notoriety.
Is there anything else, or do you think that's probably our best bet?
That is probably your best bet. We could work together and maybe come to some sort of ideas. He goes, how about I draw you up a map?
Now we're talking.
And Mo goes, that's a pretty great idea, but
yes, please.
I don't know about you, but I definitely need a rest of some kind, so I'm gonna go ahead and borrow one of these beds, maybe take a seat on the couch by the fire and rest up, and then I'm gonna get out of here because I don't want to be here. And Sly nods his head and understands. But Sly, please help my friends out any way you can. They're maybe our best bet to ending all this. Sly looks over at the three of you, shakes his head and goes, okay, why don't you four get some rest? I'll go ahead and draw us a map and then we'll reconvene.
Perfect. We're going to need to rest before we get back out there, so.
Take advantage of this place while it's still here. It's a good hiding spot, but you never know how long it's going to last for.
All right, Armos. Well, that sounds like a good plan for tomorrow. When we get back and at least have a good night before probably the last good night for the rest of this endeavor.
Yep. Armos nods.
You go out to meet up with Drell. You see Leslie's on the table on her back, holding the alchemy jug, trying to pour it into the cup in a very weird way, fighting with Drell. Let me just see the jug.
Just give it back to me. I don't understand why.
You say you were
it's
sharing
literally
it with us.
mine. I
You're
was
it with
sharing,
us.
but you guys are hogging it all. Just
We're
leave
not
it
hogging
alone.
it. We're just taking a sip. We're just taking a drink.
You're
In
taking
fact,
all the sips. I haven't even had a chance. Oh my gosh, you made me spill my cup.
Why is your cup next to my feet? I'm trying to pour
Oh
myself
my
a drink.
God.
She's upside down.
Oh my God. How about we do this a better way? And Minnis takes a pitcher and pushes it over.
And that's where we're going to end this week's session as you...
Pour pass. That's what we're doing.
I'm trying to pour pass, but he's just being pour,
No, you just-
needy.
You're a horde. You're not even passing at all.
Her head does a 360, 180 spin towards you.
Brilliant.
And that's where we're going to end this week's session.
All right.
Yeah.
Woo.
Awesome. Well, we got a lot done. Well,
A lot
did
done.
not expect you guys to take that long on the vampire manor, but
Me neither.
it was a great little bit. I loved it. And perhaps may come back in a huge way.
Yeah, it was good in between episode before getting into the thick of it.
Yes.
We got a
I
lot
wouldn't even
to
say it's
figure
an
out.
in between. It's a pretty big one.
Feels like an in between episode when we've got the Red City to deal with.
Yeah.
True. Okay, just before we get into the after show, this map took me so long to make.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's still not done, but it is so like in depth. I'm gonna try to get you guys something for the next session when he draws you up a map.
Okay.
Also,
Nice. He's gonna draw.
before we
some
get to the after show, I just want to say that Sly is a Patreon NPC.
right.
If you don't know,
Hey.
he's been patient.
After all these times of reading his name.
Yeah, it took a while. I thought I was going to be in this a lot earlier than this is.
I thought so too, but like I said, I like to make all NPCs impactful, and you guys have not been in the city in a very long time because that's what.
Yeah, and I've noticed different people ask for different things. They have different requests, and it sounds like everybody's like, "No, I'll wait as long as it's in this area." We try and be as accommodating as possible. We can't always do that, but
But yeah, Sly is a new patron, meeting Morgan, so they have a connection with each other. And your next segue as you journey through the Red City.
it'll be a crazy time in the Red City.
Mhm.
Yes. Now,
Goodness.
a little bit of a warning for the players here. All right. And I want everyone to know this. I don't want this to be locked behind a Patreon paywall, as great as our rewards are. Red City is a place that, even though you're not there, as I've been saying this the entire campaign, just because you're not there doesn't mean things don't happen, such as the lair actions that you've experienced in that first little fight. The city is crawling with monsters. They have been fighting, eating, pillaging, and doing things before you got here and will continue to do it as long as they are here. There is a war happening at the front gate. If you fight things and make noise, more things will come. You three are strong. You're now level 17.
Oh shit!
You leveled up.
I'm taking
Didn't see
that.
that one coming.
I'm taking that curse point because that was deserving. But I didn't promise to not curse, so I'm happy to do it.
You're level 17 because
baby,
you three are going to need it if you think that you can brute force everything here.
I doubt we can.
I've just hit the ultimate Armos power spike. Oh my gosh. Eldritch Blast 4 beams.
4 beams. Yeah,
4
17 is when
beams?
cantrips
That's
become their
wild.
most powerful.
What do I get?
You know that
Word kill.
before the cloud set in and Acristo's presence really came true, the Kingdom of Aramor had dedicated funding to keep whatever monsters were in here inside. So take that as you will, because you are now, yes, you are really in it. And with that said, does anybody have any recommendations?
I do.
What do you got?
Go watch AP Bio.
Oh, it's so good, dude. It's so good. I watched like the first season when I was getting my tattoo. Like it was just on like the entire time. It's so funny.
It is not the best show as far as like the story's concerned, but the characters are so good.
Yeah.
The characters make the show.
Didn't I just plug this a little bit ago?
Did you?
Did you?
I thought I
Has this
thought I did.
already been plugged? That's hilarious if we've already
Plugging it again?
plugged it.
You plugging it again?
I was going to say, I haven't heard of it, or I haven't seen it, but I think the only time I heard it was Alec saying something.
No, it's not plugged here. Not in, maybe plugged it during a different conversation, but it was not plugged during the end of an
Oh,
episode.
you know what? I might have talked about it in one of the after shows.
Maybe.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
That might have been it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's good. It's hella
Yeah.
funny.
And
Because
the reason I'm bringing this up specifically is because I just watched an episode where they play Twilight Imperium.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen that. I didn't
What is
see
this
that.
show?
And guess what race he is?
What? Hakan?
Yep. The Emirates of Hakan.
Emirates of
And he's
Hakan.
like, of course you are. And I was like, dude, it's so funny. I thought the
It's great.
exact same thing.
What is
Wait,
it?
when does that happen?
Season 2. 3.
Oh,
Season
okay.
3.
Season 3. Oh, I didn't watch that far. Okay, I just watched season 1. I'm like,
What is the show about?
It's like an ex-Harvard professor that gets a job at a high school.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to teach AP Bio, but he doesn't.
Oh, okay. No.
It's the
Dennis
guy from It's Always Sunny.
just being
Yeah.
Dennis.
Yes.
And,
Yes. I've seen. Okay. Yes.
Glenn
Yep.
Howerton.
I know what you're talking about.
So yeah, he plays the guy he plays with. He's like, oh, so what class do you like to play? He goes, oh, Emirates of Hakan. And he's like, of course you do. And I was like, yep, because it's the best race in the game.
Oh, it's good. You'll love that episode. At the very least, just go watch that episode, Jared.
Yeah, it's super good.
Yeah.
Those watching, that is Twilight Imperium behind me, and then that is the poster right there. Which
I'll put
I'm
this
sure
in
it's
the
only a
after
few
show.
people.
Yeah,
but-
what is it? All right. With that being said, great rec. Let's go ahead and give our shadow smuggliest goodbye.
Later.
Oh, goodbye.
Bye. Hey everybody, what's poppin'? It's the biggest, it's the baddest, the strongest Minotaur you ever been blessed to see. It's Miranor, and I've decided to take a short rest from my workout to shout out this month's Patreon supporters. We're gonna start off with the Shadow Smugglers. These badass Hefferfluffers have one hell of an amazing journey rolling with me as my new crew. And first up, we have Julius Kendrick, and this go-getter really took a bull by the horns by giving me a new way to train my already flawless combat techniques. He's able to summon hordes of bone bros to help me fight. Some of them even spit green fire, and some are even made of metal. The glowing tattoos on his body kinda freak me out, I'm not gonna lie, bro. You need to get those treated, because when I stare at the tattoos, not only does it feel like I'm staring at the void of death, but I feel like I can hear children crying too, bro. You gotta get that checked out, Julius. Second is Dylan Snyder, and he's out of this world. Some would say he's from Mars. This Grong is leaps and bounds better than Minnis. Minnis only thinks he's cool because he can float, but Dylan is way cooler because he can hop way higher than Minnis can float. As a matter of fact, Dylan can hop over 100 Minnises, and you need a lot of Minnises for this example because she's so short. Next, we have a Laura Dawnstar, and this gal really packs a punch in her kicks. Are you fond of the sound barrier? I hope not, because she destroys whatever swift kicks she got. They boom, they zoom. Laura drops her foes harder than Minnis dropping the ball in dodgeball during Grace class. And last we have Bro Benjamin Hayes. Let me tell you something about this bro, alright? Let me tell you something about Benjamin. He knows how to take a hit, but he always gets back up. It's a privilege watching him work out in the field. A true tank to our militia, our immovable Brock on the front line, a beacon of tenacity and fortitude. A dead save would hate to see Benjamin coming. Alright, now let's move on and talk about these Bloodshard Bandit nerds. First up is Reigns, and much like the Reigns down in Africa by Toto, I can listen to this guy all day. Truly a knowledgeable nerd, despite being a horrific frog monster once. Minnis wrote me a letter about that could not have been fun. And next is Shade Greyfire, and despite having the most edgelord name I've ever heard a bro have, he is at least way cooler than Minnis, and he has a wicked dice collection. And next up is Amanda Dulong, aka Morgan Uthil, and I gotta say, I love the way you won that conversation against Armos. That guy couldn't talk himself out of a paper bag. Oh, but this next one, Sly, let me tell you about Sly. Sly is one slick bro and an excellent wingman. It's like whenever I need something, he has it. It's like he steals it or something. And last up is Artemis. And to be honest, I'm not a fan. You keep calling me a bully, and I kind of think that makes you a nerd. Oh, what, you want to go or something, bro? You want to go? Yeah, I'll see you after these shoutouts are done. Sorry, I let my anger get the best of me there. It's not very classy of a bro to get mad. However, let's talk about my last Deadlifts and Dungeons game we had with the Cincinnati College alumni last week. Alright, so here's what happened, right? Last session, Aiden, our fierce fighter, really dealt out some major damage. He was landing critical hits left and right. It kind of sucked though when he lost his lucky D20. Like when it hit the floor, it was like really loud, but we didn't know where it went. Now I'm thinking about it, it's kind of louder than your average dice, but maybe it just lifts. Maybe it's just cool like that. But David the Chance came in hella clutch though. Like he rolled 2 nat 20s on his portent roll on his divination wizard. So we had some extra nat 20s to go around for sure. But then Craig Dawnbringer, he was the underdog in the last session for sure. Like the DM was kind of bullying me. It was totally uncool. I felt like I was being targeted. And Craig totally brought me back up to full HP with a little pre-workout and lay on hands. Patrick Wennerstrom and Saint Chaos decided to roll new character last session, and together they both played like this crazy 2-headed ogre, sorcerer, rogue, druid build. It was crazy. Patrick and Chaos really went all out in combat. I mean, it kind of seemed a little power gamey in my opinion, but to each their own, I'm not going to judge. I'm still stronger anyway. Oh, and Sergio Rodriguez. How can I forget our faithful, reliable healer? Sergio really kept the party alive. There was this one poison trap that we all got hit, but he was able to keep us up with his mass healing. The men's bathroom obnoxious gas was no match. It was crazy. All in all, it was a great Deadlifts and Dungeons session. Robert Crisp did a really good job running Drell's bodacious Undeadatorium module. It was awesome. It had everything. It had stinky men's bathrooms. It had large weights and giant monsters. But we totally steamrolled it. But Robert did a great job, despite targeting me constantly. And now we're going to go ahead and move on to Humbrea's heroes. I turned Temp 7, Native Nightmares, Jacob Matthew, and Drown. Thanks for lifting with me last week. Your combined weight totally helped me hit a new PR. Grant Fairman, Tyler Brisby, Ripcorded, Toby Lodge, and John Carroll. You guys are hella chill. Thanks for letting me in the hacky shit circle. Will Miller, Tazlin, Johnny Tar, D&D Virgin 69, Odie Mel 1203, and Man with Glass, thanks for helping me land my first pirouette in dance class. You guys are your best. Now I can totally turn on a dime. And that's it for this month's shoutouts for the Patreon supporters. If you would like to know how to become a Patreon supporter, go ahead and click that Patreon link down below, or go ahead and search on your cool keyboard at patreon.com/DND404, and you can find all the information there. And until then, have a great week, and I'll see you next time. Minnis is a nerd!